You are in luck because Chattanooga State is once again bringing their Writers at Work event to Chattanooga, and I'm thrilled to have Joel Henderson and Erica Lux, both part of the faculty there at Chattanooga State, join us to get us ready for this event. Good to see you.
Thank you for having us.
I realize as I said this that it really is not intended to come and find a good book to read, although you might. But if you love to read, I'm sure you often wonder how in the world do these genius authors create their work? And this is an opportunity, Erica, for you to come and meet one or two.
Absolutely. We hope that folks will join us for the interview night this year, Tuesday at the Hunter Museum at 6 o'clock, where we will be asking our visiting author, Ariel Francisco, all about how he does what he does and why.
So he he's a poet.
Yes.
And the book that he has written is called A Sinking Ship is Still a Ship. And will he be reading from this, do you think, that night, Erica?
I think so. We'll probably ask him to read a few of our students' favorite poems from the collection, though it's hard to narrow it down. All of them are really enjoyable.
You don't often think about poetry even still being a thing, sadly. I think, all of us can quote some Robert Frost and some Robert Louis Stevenson, but you forget that people are still writing it. Yeah. His is so conversational, I was just sharing with you. Pulls you right in.
Mm-hmm. And there's a very rich tradition of Southern poets that I think he kind of carves his own niche and finds his own spot in that canon. And so we're very excited to have him come to town.
Well, the word Southern is first and foremost in this event that y'all do every year because you're really celebrating Southern writers. And you said, Joel, wanting people to remember that we are not stereotyped, should not be stereotyped.
Right, and that's one of the purposes of our Writers at Work program is to help readers and Southerners redefine who we are. I feel like are bombarded by a lot of stereotyped images in media and TV and movies. And this is a way to say, look what's happening down here. I mean, we have, like I said earlier, a rich tradition of literature, and it's interesting to help our students and the public and all of us as readers sort of figure out, all right, this is who we are, this is what it means to be Southern.
So, okay, help me understand this because I kind of can forget year to year, but what we're talking about today is on April 4th. That is the one time that you can come and meet Ariel Francisco, is that correct?
That's the one in-person event that we're hosting at the Hunter, but there's a second opportunity on Thursday afternoon, our Chautauqua lecture series from Chattanooga State. It's via Zoom, and it is still free and it's open to anyone, but you will have to register for that on our website, so you can get sent the link for Zoom.
Y'all been doing this for quite a number of years. I was asking that it's funny the things you forget. There's an author, I love his work, of Terry Kay, and you mentioned he was the first one.
Yeah, he was. He was our first author. We've been doing it 12 years now.
That would be. So you brought him on 3+U 12 years ago.
We did.
And I told you he was the one interview I think I've ever done that I was kind of intimidated because I just had such respect for his work. It's beautiful. So I wonder how in the world, if you ever had a group of Southern writers together, I wonder how they would describe Southern writing, what it is to be a Southern writer.
Complicated. They would say it's complicated and nuanced, I suspect they would say, because we've had such a wide variety from Ariel to Terry Kay to Rick Bragg to Jill McCorkle. I mean,
Ron Rash, Robert Morgan,
Daniel Wallace,
K.R.E. Jones.
Yeah, I mean, Jericho Brown. So, I mean, a lot of sort of who's who of Southern literature, and they all bring something a little bit different to it, and certainly their own perspective. They're very strong individual writers.
Well, and I think if you took a poll nationally, and you ask people who they think of when they think of a Southern writer, they might not think of current Southern writers. They might think of Faulkner, even
Welty.
Pat Conroy. And so as the South changes, so does Southern writing.
And that's kind of part of the program too, is to show our students, all of our students have been reading this work since last summer. They've been writing essays on it in their classes, and to show them what it means to be a real writer at work, because so much of what they read is people who have been dead for hundreds of years. And so these are people who are writing now, who are living in the same world as them, dealing with some of the same things that they deal with, just like our students are writers at work.
I see in our line of work here, we have a lot of younger people in their 20s who we have a chance to work with, and so many of them have gone to school for things that are more humanities driven, and I think it's such a great thing to see that we're not all just trying to go be the computer programmer, which that's great, but
Right.
you need to have your soul fed. And you're seeing an increase in that too, I'm sure, with your student population at Chattanooga State. They want the beauty of these English classes. Is that right? Is that fair to say?
No, I think it is. I think it is. And I think that, we live in a time when the humanities is kind of increasingly under fire. But there is something so essential to being a good citizen and being able to think critically and read critically and analyze and discuss ideas. And that's really what we hope they walk away with from this study of literature, right? These timeless truths that we can discuss and talk about.
Maybe Erica's honest face, though, was the one to see because real kids, teenagers a lot today, don't really read that much. So maybe the point is let them come and meet Ariel Francisco.
And these poems are bite-sized and super accessible. And like you said, it's like right in the middle of a conversation. It draws you in immediately. And I'm grading essays that my students wrote on these poems right now. And the observations that they're making are really blowing me away. They're doing a great job.
I mean, listen, he's from Miami, so listen to this one. Even in Miami, hearing the car horns of traffic, I long for... Yeah, right. That's his poem. So it gets you talking and it gets you thinking.
Yeah.
It does.
And I think that even if you don't love poetry, our flagship event at the Hunter is always such a beautiful evening. I mean, we have wonderful catering from Events with Taste, and you're right there on the bluff overlooking the river in the
Door
Hunter.
prizes.
Yeah, it's really a nice evening out.
All right, then get your tickets while you can, because it is this upcoming Tuesday, April 4th. So there you can see, and then on the 6th is the virtual event that you heard Erica talk about. Go to chatbigread.com.
And no tickets are required and no registration for the Hunter Museum. You can just show up at 6 o'clock and walk right in, and it's a fun, free date night. Impress your friends.
Okay. And read.
Yeah.
That's right, read.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.